A seam butchery has really been around for a very long time, and it's a way of breaking down the muscles into more appropriate cuts for usage. It allows you to experiment a little bit different, allows you to use some cheaper cuts that don't necessarily need brazing. You know, the perception is that a cheaper cut is always going to have to be a brazed item. Well, it doesn't have to be. It's just normally an item that isn't so much in demand. The truth of the matter is that the cheaper cuts have more flavour. They're much more interesting. If you look at the rump of beef, every muscle in there needs different cooking. Now, of course, historically what you get in Britain is you get a big piece of rump, a D-cut rump for the obvious name. We cut it across like that. Well, that can have 6, 7 different muscles in that piece. Now, they require being took out and cut correctly on the grain. It's no wonder that people think rump steak's tough when one muscle needs less cooking than the other, and some of them are cut against the wrong grain. With a rump of beef, you've got 6 different cuts, so you've got 6 different ways of cooking it. Of course, if you cook all those muscles together, then you're going to have an inferior product, and a lot of people think it's tough. All of those muscles need different handling. If you look at the rump cap, which sits on the top there, you know, that has got a beautiful bit of fat when it's matured on the bone, that will crisp up, and ultimately you've got a single piece of rump steak with no connective tissue and no gristle. That's the whole secret of what we're doing here. That rump is often a great animal and has been devalued over the years. The rump roll is a fantastically versatile piece of meat. Once you've taken out the rump and made it into a roll, what a lot of our clients are doing now is using it for Sunday lunch. You know, if you have 1, 2, 3 roasts on for the day, you don't want to cook that roast at the beginning of service and then have it sat there and reheat it. If you have these little rolls of rump, you can heat them to order. So you can put them in, they only need 20, 25 minutes cooking, a little bit of resting, keeps your product fresh, keeps your Sunday roast, if that's what you're doing, absolutely tip top. And it will carve end to end with absolutely no waste. Now, pound for pound, it's going to cost a little bit more than topside, but the price differential isn't huge, and the difference in quality and taste is miles apart. You can't get a lot of these cuts unless you seam and unless you know what you're doing. The key to seam butchery actually is having good conformation of meat. So that means that the carcass has good muscle tone to it. If you're buying an inferior product with very low meat to bone ratio, of course you go to seam it, wow, there's no rump cap there because it's an eye of meat like that. So you need good quality farming, good quality husbandry to produce good quality animal for the butchery. So it all ultimately comes back to quality. This is the benefits of using seam butchery. It can save you money on your menu, enhance your product, and make you a little bit more adventurous in what you're doing with your cooking.
Clever ways in preparing meat is the way forward, really, because you should be able to use all the animal. And the reason that beef prices are going up are because everyone wants a piece of sirloin or a piece of fillet, and the fillet is probably the least tasty part on the animal. Fillet is great, but if you compare the taste of a fillet, which could cost you 25, 30 quid a kilo, you compare that with a piece of anglais or hanger steak, which is probably 10% of the price of that, the flavour of the anglais is going to be much better. I think butchery is all about being a bit clever. There are cuts of meat, for example, like the anglais and the flank, which a normal butcher would put through his mincer. Those cuts actually make really great steak tartare, for example, because they're very, very grainy, but very, very flavoursome as well. You know, it's just a great way to start exploring the animal.
Bavette of beef, as the French call it, which is basically a skirt which is took out, cut into steaks, and then battered out very thin, is what they use often with the steak frite that you get in France or Paris, it's famous for. Now that cut of meat is, well, it's cheap, frankly, and I would sooner eat that any day over fillet, sirloin, ribeye. Now, the only disadvantage is you cannot serve it well done. Get the cooking right on it and it melts in the mouth and the flavour is absolutely beautiful.